Hey guys, welcome to the Sharks Forex channel, and over here today I'll be starting off with the Bitcoin analysis. And you can see that on our Discord we actually posted this Bitcoin chart. We expected prices to bounce from the 40,000 level, and right now in the market, if you have caught this, you would have already been about 1:2 trade. Alright, and what we're looking for here is a move up into this supply area. So there are many ways into how prices can actually move into your supply zone, right? You can see, first of all, we have this high over here, where we can expect prices to break through, then pull back into demand areas to go higher. So this is just one of the ways where you can catch a Bitcoin trade for now. The other would be to wait for prices to pull back, tap into this demand zone. So the problem with this pullback without breaking structural high over here is that we may not know whether this demand zone is going to hold. Okay, yes, it broke structure over here, right? So prices broke structure, but this is an internal structure. Why? Because you can see that on the daily time frame, prices are delivering to you in this manner, and now we want to see a true break only at this level. So once this level is broken, then this demand area is valid for buys into higher areas, perhaps over here and higher. Okay, so this is just one of the trade ideas that we're going to have for Bitcoin. The next pair on our list would be gold, and you can see that on the lower time frame over here, we actually caught sells from this level, all right, and we caught buys from this level into liquidity highs. So you can see this move up actually grabs liquidity before moving down. So on the high time frame, which is the daily, we are still expecting prices to head higher into perhaps this buy side liquidity. So you can see this over here hasn't been grabbed, right? And that is why we have incentives for prices to go higher. This is a valid demand zone as well. So what you need to see would be a clean break of this high. Okay, so you can see prices haven't break this structure just yet. Okay, and it depends on you as a trader. I do know some traders who use weak breaks as a break of structure, and this has always been an ongoing topic. Okay, so for me, I always use candle close as my break of structure. So this isn't a candle close for me, and perhaps I have to wait for another candle that breaks a structure over here. Then we have a lower POI to trade from, right? So if we see a break of structure over here, we are looking for ways to get involved. And very quickly, this is the demand zone I'm looking to get involved. All right, so this is the refined area, ultimately. Okay, and understand that this refined area may not get tapped into because on the higher time frame, this entire zone is a demand. So you can see this wick over here, right? Liquidates this low before breaking out. And that's why prices can actually come back down after breaking structure and accumulate from here to go higher without actually tapping into your lower time frame refined area. All right, so you have to weigh between getting involved in the market and getting at the best prices. Okay, so then again, on the daily time frame, if we see a break of structure over here, catch the pullback onto any of the demand areas on the lower time frame and target for your liquidity highs over here. So this is the immediate range that you want to trade into. Okay, so we assume that this is the highest point it's gonna head towards before pulling back. Okay, so this is definitely your take profit number one. Then look for liquidity highs over here and your inside bar over here. Okay, so all of these are valid POIs for you to take profit if you are to buy over here. So next up, we have the Aussie dollar, and you can see that we are currently sitting on a weekly demand area. So this was the break of structure, leaving behind a buy side liquidity over here. So if this demand zone is to hold, we are ultimately looking to buy into these liquidity highs. Okay, so on a weekly perspective, this is the trade idea for Aussie dollar, and you could already have been a buyer maybe over here, stop loss beneath your demand, and just target this. All right, so this is already a valid entry for those who are trading on the higher time frame. Okay, but over here we are always trying to catch the best prices and make use of the risk to reward. All right, So now, how do we know whether this demand zone is going to hold? Okay, understanding that this is a weekly demand area, we want to see a weekly breakout structure over here. So now this is a clean breakout of structure, right? Leaving behind some POIs for us to work with. So this entire demand area on the weekly time frame gives you the permission to buy already, okay? But for us, we are always operating on the lower time frame to get involved in the best entries to catch the best risk to reward. Okay, so let's dive deeper on the lower time frame. So you can see that this entire weekly demand area is valid for buys, but for me, I'm looking to buy off this demand area because this is the last unmitigated demand zone that we are looking for. And you can see currently prices haven't tapped into our POI just yet. So what is happening on the daily time frame? Okay, how are prices being delivered to you currently? We are looking at this sell side move, right? And this sell side move may continue to mitigate supply areas over here to go lower, to tap into our refined area before shifting its structure. So this is what we are anticipating, okay? Because currently prices are still delivering bearishly on the daily time frame. Okay, this is a bearish move, right? Break structure recently, maybe tapping into a lower time frame supply area. So let's just go and investigate, okay, whether we have a lower time frame supply area. So you can see this is a supply zone on the 8 hours time frame. So this means that prices may respect this order flow, right? This sell side structure taps into this, gives you some sort of distribution to push prices lower into your refined area on the daily time frame, then shift, breaking structure, getting involved over here to target these liquidity highs, okay? And that is why it depends on what we get over here. Okay, if I see a break of structure now, let's say this supply, right? This supply fails to hold on the 8 hours time frame. So it pulls back, fails to hold, then break structure, then I'm looking to get involved over here, right? Because this is a supply zone. Prices reacted to the supply zone, failed to hold, failed to break structural low over here, okay? And then broke out of structure. This tells me that I'm trying to catch the last sell to buy move inside of this level to catch a move into these areas over here. So this is the gold trade idea. So of course, if prices bounce from here, break structure, it means that it actually took account of the weekly demand area, the entire weekly zone over here. Okay. The next pair would be CAD-J, and you can see that prices are delivering lower, right? You can see over here, prices are delivering sell side. So for me, then again, this isn't a breakout structure, okay? On this time frame that I'm trading, and this is the breakout structure. So over here, when prices comes back to the supply area, right above here, okay, I'm expecting prices to go lower because this is still respecting the bearish move, right? So go down to the lower time frame, then you understand that on the 4 hours time frame, the moment this broke out of structure here, I'm looking for sell side move, okay, to continue lower. And unless this 4 hour sell side move is broken, I'm going to continue to sell, right? And inside of here, you can see currently prices taps into our refined area. So ask me, where did I actually find this refined area, right? It's on the 15 minutes time frame. So you can see this is a supply zone where prices taps and go. So can you see how prices actually reacted to this initial 30 minutes supply zone? First, we have a break of structure here, right? Prices came back to tap into this 30 minutes supply area, taps into another area of POI or demand zone, failed to break lower. So this means that prices are likely to move higher to mitigate somewhere deeper. And this is where the 15-minute supply comes into play, right? So prices can again fail to make a lower low here, fail to break this sell side liquidity and continue moving higher before going down. So this is also possible. And that is why you have to validate all of your supply zones or your refined area. And right now, on the higher time frame, I'm still trying to catch sells into this sell side liquidity ultimately, whether is it from over here or whether it's going to go higher before going lower. Okay, so catch the trend continuation on the lower time frame over here to push prices lower into this liquidity zone. Otherwise, expect a move higher into this refined area, then catch the shift to go lower. Okay. Next up, we have the Euro New Zealand, and you can see that we are currently in ping pong. Okay, or I would say we are currently ranging in the market. And what do I mean by that? First of all, you can see this sell side move where prices comes back into this supply, right? Broke structure, and now left behind this move over here. So you can see at this instance, we are delivering prices in a bullish manner. Okay, here, right? And prices may respect this demand to go higher and continue the bullish move, right? And again, over here, for the sell side move, this is a sell side structure. So if you want to be a buyer, where do you want to buy into ultimately? You want to catch the lower time frame buys inside of here into this supply zone, because you do not know whether this supply is going to hold, right? This supply is valid because it broke structure over here. Okay, and this means that prices may respect this supply to continue going lower. And similarly, for this demand area, we are now delivering bullishly and prices may continue to deliver higher. So if I want to be a buyer on the lower time frame, I will look for the shift in structure here to catch buys into this supply zone. Then if it decides to break down from here, then catch the sell. And how do we do that? First, we need to see this supply hold. Okay, and how to see this supply hold? We need to see a bounce into this level, break out of this demand area. So this fulfills two criteria. First, your demand zone failed and your supply zone held. Okay, this move right here tells you that prices taps into a POI or your supply zone, right? And it held because it broke demand area. Then now, if I'm looking to get involved, where do I get involved? Definitely this level here. So catch the sell into lower areas. Okay, of course, then again, take profit over here and take profit over here. Okay, so what we always teach our students is to catch the immediate range. All right, take profit at the immediate range that you're working with. Obviously, this is the ultimate sell side liquidity that we're looking for. But if you were to take sell trades inside of here by means of a structural shift on the lower time frame, okay, there are many ways you can actually catch a structural shift on the lower time frame. So some sort of maybe Wyckoff or whatever that you want to do it, right? This is one of the ways to catch a sell side move into this level. Understanding that your first target should be this internal range that we are working with, and then remaining positions running towards the ultimate sell side liquidity over here. So over here we have the pound dollar, and where am I trying to get involved? Obviously you have a sell side market, right? Prices are delivering bearishly. So over here I'm trying to get involved at this supply area. Okay, and if prices comes back down, comes back up into this refined area, look for the shift on the lower time frame to catch a move down into liquidity lows. And then again, target this as your liquidity 1 and this as your second take profit area. So pretty clear cut for pound USD. Over here we have the euro dollar, and you can see that currently prices just broke out of this swing low, right? And where am I looking to get involved? I'm trying to sell here. Okay, because this entire range, for me to sell at a premium price, I have to sell above the 50% level. So you could have been a seller here as well. Alright, so it depends on you. For me, I want to sell higher, and this is a valid POI. This is the reaction. You can see over here. Right, this is the demand zone. Prices taps in at this point of time, right, after breaking structure. So you have to put it into context. This is a break of structure, and this means that prices may taps into this demand and go higher, right? But the fact that prices taps into this demand zone makes a high fail to make a higher high and breaks down. This is a valid supply area for me, okay? And I'll definitely be looking to sell here. So similarly over here, you can see this is the demand zone, right? Prices taps in, fails to make a higher high, break structure. This means that inside of here, on the lower time frame, depends on how you want to manage it, right? You have sell areas to get involved, maybe inside of here as well. So all of these are valid POIs for you to work with, and it depends on how you want to confirm your trades, okay? So if I'm a seller for EURUSD, I'm going to sell either here or here. Next up, for the New Zealand dollar, pretty clear cut as well. If I want to be a seller, I will sell here. Okay. Or maybe inside of here as well. So dig deeper into these areas. So let's just go and see and investigate whether there is any supply areas for us to get involved. Okay, so on the 8 hours time frame, we have this to get involved as well. So these two are the areas that I'm trying to get involved ultimately. Okay, this area and this area. And if prices taps into our demand zone first, then look for accumulation for prices to go higher. Okay, otherwise, expect a pullback now into these areas. Then look for the shift in structure to catch prices into the demand zone. Of course, understanding that this is your first liquidity area to target for. So this same move can appear over here as well. Then this will be invalidated and try to catch a move over here. Next, we have UCAD, and you can see how we actually caught this 1:7 move last week. Okay, or actually just this Friday. And now we are expecting prices to continue delivering lower into this demand zone ultimately. Okay, and you can see that currently on the lower time frame, as long as this isn't invalidated, we are going to expect prices to continue moving lower. So once prices taps into this demand zone over here, okay, we are not sure whether this demand zone is going to hold. And we do not do any guesswork on whether this demand zone is going to hold, right? We just simply wait for the high time frame, break of structure. So let's say if prices comes back here, break, pulls back, breaks. At this point of time, we are ranging between two supply and demand areas. First, this and this, right? So now if prices were to continue moving lower over here, taps into demand, breaks out of structure over here. So this tells you that the demand zone wants to hold. And all of these highs are now served as liquidity highs for us to target for prices to continue going higher. So this is the trade idea for UCAD and the thought process on how to actually define your trades. Okay, doesn't mean that prices taps into the demand area means it's going to hold. You have to look for evidence on whether this demand zone is going to hold, right? And if demand zone fails, trade the supply that caused the demand to fail. Okay, this again is the sell side move. Prices taps into the demand, pulls back, fail to create a high, breaks down. Immediately look for supply areas here to get involved in the market. Okay, and it depends on how you manage the trade. You can sell limit over here, or you can actually look for the confirmations on the lower time frame inside of here to catch sells. Lastly, USDCHF. We are operating on a high time frame basis over here. You can see this supply zone, right, is now currently ranging between where? Between two areas, okay? This is a demand zone. And at this point of time, we do not know whether this demand zone is going to hold. We do not have enough evidence to tell us that this demand zone is going to hold unless it broke this structure over here. Okay, so there are several scenarios that we have. Prices taps into demand, break structure, then look for the pullback to continue higher, expecting this supply to fail. Okay, but this entire supply zone is valid, right? Which means to say that if this demand zone holds, these can deliver prices to mitigate deeper areas of the supply zone, okay, before shifting in structure and breaking down lower. So can you see that this is still valid? This supply zone is still valid, and this demand zone held. And the purpose behind this is to mitigate deeper areas of the supply zone. So if this demand zone fails, right, then catch the pullback to continue lower, right? And how do we know whether this demand zone failed? It's when the demand zone gets broken by means of this move over here. So the truth is that prices can move higher into refined areas here, then break structure. So this is still valid for sells, right?